So I had a comment from this lovely viewer on my last video suggesting that I go check out Black Ops Cold War because apparently the game is in a pretty good state. And so that's exactly what I went and did. Black Ops Cold War was Treyarch's last entry in the ever-memeing Call of Duty franchise. It was developed way back in the pandemic era, which basically put Cold War's development in a chokehold of sorts. But despite all the changes that the entire world were going through at the time, Treyarch pulled through and dropped this game on schedule, which honestly drew in a lot of resentment from everybody because of its rocky launch, but not me, because I always did enjoy this game. Despite all the issues that plagued this Call of Duty, just like pretty much any other Call of Duty, this Call of Duty in particular held a little bit of spark of hope in my eyes. My first initial game back into multiplayer was momentarily a learning curve, and I feel like that was mainly due to the speed of the game itself. I would compare the feel to this game to Modern Warfare 3 of this year, but yet it's still noticeably different with the time to kill aspect. The time to kill is probably at its sweetest because most gunfights that you win feel earned, and most, but not all, deaths do feel justified. And I've got to tell you, it felt so good to play on Nuketown again. After being spammed with shipment, it was like really nice to switch it up with another chaotic map. Which really leads me to say that the remakes in this game really carried the multiplayer. It's not to say that all the original maps that were in Cold War were trash, but there were a couple that just really didn't keep with the flow correctly as well as the older maps seemed to do. I would say about 90% of the new original Cold War exclusive multiplayer maps that they brought to the game, to me they just really didn't hit. But that's okay because at the end of the day this still winded up being a very serviceable Call of Duty experience. And honestly, this is why Treyarch is my favorite developer out of the three that Call of Duty has. Their games just seem to wind up being better quality in the long run. I guess now I should take a moment and talk about how Zombies went. My first game on Die Machine was honestly a joke on my part because I spent most of the time trying to get the ray gun so I could use that for gameplay, and I was definitely unsuccessful at that. But besides that, it was a pleasant few games that I did run. I do stand firmly on my thought from way back when I say that this was the ideal change that Zombies needed. You could still tell that this was a modern take on COD Zombies, but it was just done better. And I think a lot of those feelings come from the actual launch map that we got in Die Machine being such a fire map. A leap in new additions, a rebooted Ether storyline, and a round-based gameplay format, that's what we're talking about as Zombies fans, baby. It really was the little things that made this mode a nice step in the right direction. With the upgradable perks, field upgrades, and weapon mods, it gave a sense of deepened gameplay with what we were given. Unfortunately though, it wasn't perfect because I did have a game or two where it did crash on me, and these were maps that specifically weren't on Die Machine. It was actually a few games that I ran on Forsaken. Just random disconnects, I don't know. But at an overall view, it was actually a lot of fun to come back and play this Zombies. And if you remember Black Ops 4, it was kind of a feeling of like an oversimplified version of that. You know, with the return of Juggernog and actual good standing perks that weren't trash. Coming back to Cold War Zombies and replaying this version of Zombies that they gave us really got me hyped for what Treyarch has in store for us in 2024. I'd hope they just stick to their guns and stick with the format that the players want, which is round-based maps. I mean, obviously if they bring something in like this where it has the armor and all the gun tiers and all the perk upgrades and all that we mentioned earlier, I really don't think that would be that big of a deal. I think it would be very serviceable to the player as long as it's something like this and not what we got this year with Modern Warfare Zombies. So in conclusion, coming back to Black Ops Cold War was surprising by just how steady the game turned out to be in the end. Now before I get out of here, I would like to add this into the video too, and I'd like to say that I'm not ignorant to the PC players that apparently are getting hacked left and right anytime they try to boot this game up on Steam. Apparently PC players are getting IP banned and IP hacked and all this and that anytime they try to play this game, which if true, I'm a console player so I really wouldn't know, but if true, this has to have some sort of priority put on it, you know? This is not good for the player, this is not good for actual 1/3 of your entire player base. But to my understanding, and I could be wrong, leave it in the comments if I am, but I don't think Treyarch or Activision has really said or done anything to really fix this issue. I think it's just something that they're gonna try to sweep under the rug and hope that no one makes a big deal about. That way they can have these PC players buy their new Call of Duty. I don't know, that's just the business side of me talking. But however you would like to slice it, in my opinion, this is something that should not be taking place, and we really shouldn't be letting these developers and publishers get away with this type of shit, but it is the Call of Duty publishers and developers, so what else is there to be expected, am I right? But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna leave y'all to go have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for coming through and watching today's discussion. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Comment below if you guys are still playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War in 2024. I'd actually really like to hear it, and let me know of your experience on the game as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new because we're gonna come out with new stuff all the time, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.